Hey everybody, this week on Up Your Alley, we've got two great recommendations. First, Jake's recommendation for me, the Oscar-nominated film Anora, and my nomination for Jake, the Amazon Prime documentary Chiefsaholic, about the Chiefs superfan accused of robbing a bunch of banks. We're going to talk about Jake's surgery, we're going to talk about PlayStation a little bit, and anything else, Dad?
No, I'm good, buddy.
Yeah, you're feeling good, I could tell. You like how tactful that was?
It was, I was waiting for it.
So I had forgotten that I had a soda to open the whole time, but I did it since we're in Jake's house. Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. My name's Taylor. With me, as always, is my best friend, Jake Baggett. Say hi, Jake.
So you have a can of soda with you.
I do. I have a can of Sierra Nevada Hop Splash.
And you forgot to go open it up before we recorded.
Yeah.
And we were like, I can see it in your face. You're like, wait for the drop.
Yeah, I was waiting for the drop. It was perfect timing, though. I feel like I nailed it. So, yeah, if it's your first time listening to the show, we're best friends. We recommend things to each other. We come back every Friday and talk about them on a scale of 1 to 3 based on how much it's up our individual alleys. I had told Jake to watch the documentary Chiefsaholic about a bank robbing superfan, and Jake had me watch Anora, nominated for, I want to say 6 Oscars off the top of my head, but I'm not 100%
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's got
I think
some
it's Best Picture, right?
Yeah, Best Picture, Best Actress, and I think Best Original Screenplay as well, maybe amongst some others. I'll have to Google that before we get down. Yep. But yeah, we're going to talk about that. We took a week off because Jake is recovering from some elbow surgery.
It's hand surgery.
Hand surgery. Arm surgery.
Through my elbow.
Through your elbow, hand surgery.
It's fun.
Yeah. So we talked about this a couple weeks ago. You had a little ulnar
compression. Yes, sir.
Compression.
Ulnar compression. Yes, sir.
He got 2 weeks off work. He's feeling all right.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
It's fine. I had to redress it myself.
Yeah.
And stitches are gross, dude.
Yeah, I know. They're gross.
They're weird to touch. And
we're going to have to put one of those cones on you like a dog.
Bro, it's been itchy ever since I've changed it.
Yeah, I've never had stitches. We were talking about this before we started recording. I had my appendix out, but they do that laparoscopically now, and it just was like a glue gun, it just fill. And I've lost part, the tip of my finger, but there was nothing to stitch left. Like the nurse just told me,
right.
What do you want me to stitch? It's just gone.
Yeah.
It'll probably grow back, and it mostly grew back. But that's when I was really. I got a new set of Wusthof cooking knives, and I was not paying attention. I got distracted while I was chopping some beef for a stroganoff, and it went away and bled a whole bunch. But yeah, I've never had surgery. I broke a toe when I was I broke 2 toes at the same time. And I was 7, but no stitches or anything like that. You just had to wear a boot for a while. I was never an accident-prone kid.
Yeah,
I was playing it safe.
I played video games all day.
Hard to need stitches when you got video games. Yeah.
No, nothing.
My brother and sister, they had injuries and stuff like that. I was always the middle kid, just being like, no, I'm gonna.
Yeah, I'll stay here.
I'm just gonna avoid all of these things.
I have Contra Hardcore to play through.
Oh Jesus Christ, Contra Hardcore! I slipped back into an old video game over the past 2 days.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite YouTube channels, History Buffs, put out a new thing. It's a great channel. He does historical inaccuracies or accuracies in movies, and goes through what the real history was. Yada yada yada. But he put one out on Shogun, and I was like, oh, cool.
Oh, I did see that pop up on my feed.
Yeah, that guy's great. History Buffs is a great channel, and I started watching it, and then I realized that I hadn't finished Shogun. I thought I did, but I stopped at episode 4 because he was talking about stuff, and I was like, I don't remember that. But I guess I just got distracted watching Shogun, started watching something else, and fell off.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to go back and watch Shogun. Okay. So I was watching Shogun, loving that. And then I'm like, this really just makes me want to play Ghost of Tsushima again.
Yeah.
Because after watching the PlayStation State of Play where they were talking about Ghost of Yotei and all the upcoming games, I'm like, yeah. So I slid back from History Buffs to Shogun back to Ghost of Tsushima, and that's where I'm at now.
I felt the call for Tsushima. I'm playing Like a Dragon Ishin instead.
Oh, the pirate
style. No, pirate like a Dragon Yakuza Pirate comes out the 20th.
Oh, so that'll be out on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so I'll be getting that.
Day this comes out.
I'll be playing that. Yeah.
Nice.
But
yeah,
timed it pretty well, so I can stay home for a week to play that bad boy.
Oh yeah. You're gonna be all set. Doesn't mess up your gaming hand, does it?
It hurts more.
Yeah.
But not too bad.
Yeah, I was talking to my my sister. whenever I get a really good time on the New York Times mini crossword,
Yeah.
I send it to her just to be obnoxious because she'll send me like, oh, I got 31 seconds. And then I'll just send her back one. I'm like, I did it in 12.
Yeah.
She's like, how do you go that fast? And I really think it's the video games because the mini's all about speed and thumb dexterity. Like just that transfer of skills to be able to see something on a screen and make your fingers do exactly what you want them to do. That's 100% just a video game.
I would also bet that you're getting the gist of the question first before you're moving on. You don't try and get the whole question.
No,
You're
because
just
I do crosswords, so you can like see
exactly,
a thing and you
right?
get like
Yeah.
what they're going to be talking about. Yeah.
When they see certain phrases, you're like, this is going to be a pluralized word.
Right.
Type
If it's 5
stuff.
letters for mic holder, it's usually not like stand. It'll be like MC, EMCEE.
Yeah.
Because that's a person who holds a mic, whereas
Yeah.
someone else would put stand. That's
Yeah.
like one of the weird, crossword
Exactly.
tricks that you learn.
Exactly.
It could be that, but I'd like to say that I'm a god gamer, especially Ghost of Tsushima. I forgot how fun that game is to be good at. It's very fluid and just an amazing game.
Very good game. Looking forward to your tie.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So other than that, recovering well from the surgery.
Yeah.
Everything's
definitely.
good. Good. No complications. We're happy to be back on
Yeah.
Jake's couch.
After 2 weeks, it should be back to the old grindstone.
Making computers.
Making computers work.
You did say that you are using this time also to cut off all of your streaming services?
Yeah, I cut off all my streaming services.
Is this a intentional,
Only-
just cord cutting measure, or are you just like...
Because I just got tired.
Did you
I just saw the thing.
Did you hear a Rocket Money ad and you're like, look at all the subscriptions that I'm paying for?
No,
Yeah.
even though I do like Rocket Money, I use it and it's very helpful.
Yeah, it's a good app,
but
their ads are crazy though. Like they're big on they pop up on Instagram and stuff. And there's one, it's this guy, because it's like the fake man on the street interviews, like, how many subscriptions do you think you're paying for right now? Blah, 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 blah. And there's one girl who's like very clearly acting, and she says, or he pulls up her Rocket Money fakely and is like, oh, you're paying for 3 Netflix accounts. She's like, oh, I must still be paying for my exes. And I'm like, that's not a real reaction to that. Because like, you would freak out, one, if you're like, oh, wait, why am I paying for 3 Netflix accounts?
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't just be normal. And your first thought wouldn't
should
be
be
like
one.
right. And your first thought also wouldn't be, oh, I must be still paying for my exes.
Yeah.
Like that's your first go-to.
We
Like,
don't know her relationship with her ex, though.
yeah, but it'd be a weird thing just to bring up to a strange man with a microphone.
Yeah.
That's where they get you in the advertisement. They're like, who
But
else is taking my money from me?
Did you watch the Auntie Donna sketch, the new one, the masterclass?
Yeah, that's
Where
great.
They're like, we're gonna charge you, what is that, $360 a year?
Mhm.
He's like, and hopefully you forget about it before you're charged again. That way we get $720 from you before you cancel.
That's how they get you. I have
That's what
reminders.
I think about that stuff all the time.
I have occasional reminders on my phone that I'll be like, so the one that got me the most is I needed something for the business. I needed something delivered from Walmart. Like I needed it to be there when I got home. And so I signed up and they're like, oh, free shipping if you do a 7-day trial of Walmart Plus. And I'm like, oh, dope.
Yeah.
So
You
did that,
cancel it.
forgot, and it immediately charged me for a year after
Yeah.
the 7 days, which, it was like $90 for the year. And I'm like, all right, so now I make a point of trying to deliver things from Walmart just to
Yeah.
feel like I'm getting my money's worth. But I have 3 alarms set, like 5 days out, cancel Walmart, 3 days out, did you
just
cancel
it
Walmart?
now?
But they don't let you do that. They're like, because your cancellation date, because then they'll send you more things and yada, yada, yada. But it's like more check and make sure that this is canceled.
Man.
Right.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
Absolutely.
But man, yeah, the only ones that I have are Spotify, and which I would like to get rid of that, but that one's hard because I like music,
Right.
and YouTube, which I like in the background sometimes when I'm playing video games.
Well, the go-to thing would be like you could do Spotify with ads. I don't do Spotify with ads. I have,
no, that's not gonna happen.
and the main thing for me with Spotify also is where I live. I don't get like if I'm driving from one place to another that I frequent, I'll lose cell phone service.
Yeah.
So you pay for Spotify and you can download the stuff like onto your phone.
And I'm already collecting movies. It'd be wild to get into like CDs again.
That's a bummer
You know
because
what
your
I mean?
recommendation for next week is on a streaming service and you're gonna have to figure out a way to watch it.
I'm gonna have to have you figure out a way for me to watch it.
Sounds like you're not gonna be at work. You could probably figure out a way to watch a
So
a
my
movie.
thing is, I found a solution.
right. And
It's
my
through
point is,
you.
I'm gonna. Oh, I see what you
I
did.
found you.
That's very.
You're gonna solve it for me.
That's very big business of you.
Hey, this is how
We've solved all the problems. We told this guy to solve them. Everything's going to be great from now on.
Everybody just calm down.
Don't worry. Taylor's on it. Everything's going to be great.
We love Taylor, don't we, folks?
Yeah, I did. I bundled a bunch of my stuff, like Disney and Disney, Hulu, and Max has a bundle now.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I'm just like, yeah, I'll pay for the ads. I don't care. They're going to just keep jacking up the price of the...
That I got to log in. It's not like TV where it was just on.
Right.
You know? It's like we gave this TV satellite, and then you just had satellite.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like log in to prove that you have satellite. And it's like...
It's on the side of the house. It's right there.
Yeah, just calm down.
Yeah.
Just let me watch stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do it. And now they're like, but you got to pay us so that we can show you ads. You don't understand.
Yeah, the paid for ads thing, like that's a model that I think that's going to be the next thing to change. Like they'll do, because what is it, like Tubi? You can get free with ads.
Yeah,
and some things like that.
But the thing that it's just its own app is so annoying.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I guess
everything feels like an island unto itself, and I'm tired.
When I watch things on streaming, it's either through my PlayStation, which is hooked up to the big TV in the studio downstairs, or on my phone, both of which are automatic logins. Anywhere across the board.
That's the other thing. I forget my password. So I hope it doesn't log me out.
You don't have a big note? Like a note somewhere?
I keep it right on my computer screen. And I look at
it. Like a Post-it?
Like a Post-it. And I take a picture of it.
No, I'm talking like notes
with my Social Security.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Mother's maiden name. Everything like that you might need.
Because I forget that all the time.
First family pet. You got to get that. What was the city where you were born?
I wasn't around when my mom was a maiden. Why would I know her last name?
Her maiden name. You got to keep track of it. Name. It's such a weird term.
You don't think about it until you say it out loud.
Yeah. That is a weird name.
Her maiden name.
But
how dare my dad take her maidenhood?
Speaking of maidenhood, there's part of me I could tell a game looks cool. But I could tell I don't have the patience for it. Is the new Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Yeah.
It looks super
fun. I'm going to wait for it to go on sale like I did with the first one.
Yeah.
And then I will play it for approximately 20 hours, not get anywhere, and still have a good time.
I was really hoping that would be a one like Baldur's Gate where they would do a free 3-hour trial on PlayStation.
It might still happen.
Yeah, it might still happen. It's getting a lot of good reviews out of the gate, though. It's like the first big game of the year that people are losing it for.
Yeah, people are very excited. Mm-hmm. People are happy. I really like the first one. I had a great time with that one.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely
it's heavy RPG stuff.
Yeah, it's very
That's
role
what you
play.
like.
You just talk to a guy, and it will go south so fast. And then you end up just punching each other, and you're so weak.
Just like real life.
But he's so weak, so you're fighting each other for like 2 minutes until you're both just like, I'm tired, man.
It does sound like a fun game, actually.
I was like, that's really good.
Yeah. Well, so you're just excited to play some Yakuza?
Yep, I love Yakuza.
Not going to go... I did try to take Jake. I texted him last week. I had forgot that he was getting surgery. And I was like, hey, let's go see Captain America, and then we'll do the podcast. And you're like, I'm on drugs right now.
Yeah.
And the surgery went well, though, and I felt like a bad friend.
Surgery went well.
Yeah.
You are a bad friend.
No, I thought... I could have sworn you told me you were getting surgery on Valentine's Day. I feel like I made a joke about it.
It's quite possible.
Yeah.
Because I did have physical therapy on Valentine's Day.
That could be it. Yeah, see, I was just thrown off because I thought I was planning it well, that we'd go see Captain America, talk about that. And then I spent the next weekend while you were hopped up on drugs trying to find someone to go see Captain America with me.
Nobody wants to see it.
No one.
No.
No one wants to go see Captain America with me.
No reason to see it.
I'm going to go see it by myself.
Anthony Mackie deserves better.
He does.
Both of us agree. One of his breakout hits.
8 Mile.
8 Mile.
Yeah.
He's amazing in it.
I can't believe he looks the same. He has aged incredibly well for a movie that's 20 years old. Yeah.
He takes care of himself.
I guess you have to. I mean, he's in great shape.
But I'm really excited for Twisted Metal to come out.
Did you see the trailer for season 2?
You sent it to me.
Oh, yeah. But just because I sent you something doesn't mean you saw it.
That was my way of saying no, I did not watch it.
Exactly. You get to look at Mr. Grimm.
Yeah.
You get to look at Axel.
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
Not a look. You just see a fist going into a wheel well. And I'm like, Jake's going to love that.
I hope he dies so fast. That'd be funny.
Like a James Gunn Suicide Squad situation where like the first team comes up and they all just blow up immediately.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
That would be all right.
And Anthony Carrigan, better known as Mr. Zaz or NoHo Hank, is playing Calypso.
Oh, that's fun.
which is outstanding casting because he's just a weird dude. Yeah, with him and people like Jason Mantzoukas in it and Anthony Mackie and Stephanie Beatrice.
It's saying we're having a really good time.
Yeah, it's an action comedy series, like really good action comedy. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm all for this coming out.
So I'm excited for season 2 of that.
I'm gonna go watch.
It's gonna be hard to try and watch it because I don't have. Is that on Amazon?
Peacock.
Oh damn it! Yeah. The only one that I have is Amazon through work.
Yeah.
If I want it.
Yeah. That's how you watched the first thing that we're going to talk about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first thing we're going to talk about?
Yeah, we're going to talk about it first. I think I have more things to say about Anora.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mostly I want to know what you think about this movie.
Chiefsaholic?
No, Anora. But
okay.
we'll get to that later. Mm-hmm. But so yeah, you want to come see Captain America with me after this?
After this?
Yeah.
No.
I'm going to go see it by myself then.
You have to understand.
I'm going to edit in my review of Captain America.
I'm going to have to put pants on, and that's not
right here. To be fair, Jake's wearing pants.
Yeah.
They're not outside pants.
Yeah.
I'm going to put in my review right here. So I'm going to pause right here. This could be my review. Wasn't that great?
I knew you didn't like it.
What are the odds I actually go see
I have no clue, man.
I don't know. I've got butter in my car. Shit, I forgot I have butter in my car.
No, I'm just thinking that you're going to watch the movie and you're
Can I bring my butter in here?
And you're just wiping your brow the whole time being like, God, I hope that butter's okay.
How long do you think the butter will be okay in my car?
4 hours.
It's like 32 degrees outside. It's basically a fridge.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's true.
In 4 hours, how long? Nothing's okay in your car for 4 hours.
Everything's okay in your car for 4 hours.
No, famously not.
From food to kids.
Just pop them in there.
For 4 hours.
God damn it. I should have gotten the butter after I go see the movie. The butter place is right by the theater.
You got special butter?
Uh-huh. BJ's Wholesale. Wellesley Farms butter.
Yeah.
Best butter.
Okay.
You're never going to find a better butter. Fat content.
Parquet.
No, it's not real butter.
That's butter.
The Irish butter, get the fuck out of here. Too fatty. It's not good for making candy.
Yeah.
Regardless, let's talk about Chiefsaholic. So, Chiefsaholic is a documentary that was very search engine optimized 2 weeks ago when I thought we were going to be recording this after the Chiefs just lost the Super Bowl. Jake did not watch the Super Bowl.
No. I was at work, for one. And two, I didn't want to watch it.
I watched the first half. The Chiefs were getting their ass kicked, and then I watched the halftime show, which was great.
Yeah.
And also the meanest thing ever.
It's so fun. It's so good.
It was so mean.
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
It's really good when somebody is a bad person and a guy is like, I really hate this guy.
So the halftime performance was just like every like shower argument you've had. Be like, I hope this happens to that person, and then I'm going to say this, and then they'll say this, and then blah, 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 and they're going to look foolish. It looks so bad.
What a great way to put it,
And it's just that to like, what's the complete pie in the sky? It's like, I'm going to go on stage at the Super Bowl in front of national television, and I'm going to say really offensively mean things about this man, and I'm going to make 100,000 people sing along and smile at the camera, and then I'm going to have his ex-girlfriend crip walking next to me.
That was amazing.
That's the meanest thing you could do. And he did it, and it was great.
I hope he's not done.
No, at some point you got to.
No, just keep doing it.
How do you top that?
Not until we feel ashamed.
Especially because the week before that, he was at the awards for the industry that the other person's in and had all the famous people at his award show do the same thing to him while they handed him trophies for doing it.
Yeah.
There's no way you can do it unless you go to like space and plant a flag on the moon that says A minor.
That dude is
you just post it right there.
That dude is an artist, man.
He's
what a big artist.
What'd you think of his jeans?
Flares?
Yeah.
Good.
I liked it.
Yeah, they're fine.
Pulled it off. I mentioned it. I was like mentioning it, and I Googled. I was like, who makes those jeans? And I was not the only one because the search for Kendrick Lamar jeans, like the Google Trends, was like way up. Everyone was just like, are we back? Are flares back now? Can we do it?
Yeah, no, I can't. No way.
No, I could never pull it off, but God damn it, he looked cool.
I can't.
All right, Chiefsaholic. Speaking of football, Chiefs lost. Fuck them. Philadelphia won. They burnt down their city.
Go Birds.
Like they always do. What a weird town. So, Chiefsaholic, it's a true crime documentary available on Amazon. It follows Xavier Babudar.
Yep.
Known online as Chiefsaholic. No one really knew who he was ahead of time. So, he... what?
What do you mean ahead of time?
Like the
They
Chiefs.
they knew him as Chiefsaholic. They didn't know him as.
They didn't know who he
Xavier
was.
Babadar.
Yeah, so like in the Chiefs fan community, which is kind of the start of the documentary.
They just knew him from his persona.
Right. Is that what we're doing?
That's exactly what it is.
No, not.
That's explicitly what it is.
I think that's
he made a character that is a
mascot.
a wolf man.
Yes,
that he can be. That's a fursuit. That's a fursona.
Right, but
He's
I feel like the fursona thing is more people that it's more of. I guess it was a life. No, I'm talking myself out of it. So yeah, and
it's
also
only acceptable because it's football.
Yeah,
that's the only reason.
I think it was Patton Oswalt that had the joke about jocks making fun of nerds for dressing up like stormtroopers when they dress up like football players. Yeah. He's like, it's the exact same thing. So anyway, this guy was known in Chiefs Nation online as Chiefsaholic. He was at all the games. He would travel to all the games, sit front row at like opposing stadiums in this big Wolfman outfit with Chief stuff on. And everyone just thought, oh, he's a good time dude. Like, isn't that fun? He's Chiefsaholic. He would go on like Chiefs podcasts and post on Chiefs Twitter.
They talked to one lady that's online who said that she likes to see his videos.
Right. And yeah, she was in like New Jersey. Yeah. And it's like, wow, you're really. So the Chiefs are a fan base that I think is oft maligned recently just because the Chiefs have been so good. But there are people from that area of the country that are as diehard as any fan base out there. But now they're in a obnoxious fan base category, to where you'll see a dude walking down with like a Chiefs jersey on, and you're like, oh, fuck that guy. Like, kind of in this area.
I'm going to tell you, I don't know enough about sports. I'll tell you this: anybody that's winning a lot of championships and you want to root for them, you just want to look like a winner.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Is I think even in the Chiefs community, and you got the vibe from these people in this documentary, that once they started winning, you would get the bandwagon fans, and that pissed them off. And a lot of the stuff, the Taylor Swift stuff, pissed those people off too, because people are coming up and like buying jerseys that say like Taylor's boyfriend on the back of them, yada yada yada.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's all
Screw
great. But regardless, this dude was like super into it. One day he says, "I'm going down to Houston for the game," and this was in 2022. 2022. Sorry. And he just goes off the grid, and everyone's like, "Hey, have you heard from Chiefsaholic? We don't know where Chiefsaholic is. Has anyone heard? Like, DM Chiefsaholic, find out, make sure he made it to the game." Everyone's like pinning, like he was driving from here to here. We hope he's okay. That was like the main thing. They're like, I hope Chiefsaholic isn't dead in a ditch somewhere. Turns out Chiefsaholic is a man named Xavier Babadar who was arrested after robbing a bank.
Yes,
not in the Chiefs outfit.
No.
But when he got arrested, he did have the wolf costume in the back of his car.
Yeah.
Which is objectionably funny. So when this kind of blew up, sports media, which Jake doesn't follow, ESPN blew this up. Barstool.
This was a big story?
In sports media, yeah.
That's amazing that it did not even touch me.
I know. Well, it's not really that amazing.
Untouchable.
Did you watch the
Teflon.
The highlights from the USA-Canada match?
No. I should have, though. I really should have.
3 fights in the first 9 seconds. 3 fights
in 90 seconds.
9 seconds.
9 seconds?
9 seconds of game clock.
That's despicable.
I was trying to explain to my mother. She was like, "Why are they fighting?" I was like, "That's hockey. If someone else drops the gloves, you go for it."
I hear you on that, but 3 fights?
Shoresy season 4 comes out next week.
Another thing that's like, darn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I wish they would put it out on physical. That would be nice.
Do they not? Oh, I guess I haven't seen it, but I don't know. Regardless, so I just thought this would be a great watch for Jake because we talked about a bank robbery thing before. I thought this was interesting because it was such a big story immediately. The documentary crew just got going on it. So, like, the documentary crew is following his bail officer when his bail officer goes and picks him up, like, at a jail. Like, the bail officer is following his mom. And the documentary crew's talking to everyone, and it's so well documented, it feels almost voyeuristic to where there's reenactments of the actual robberies, but everything that happened after the robbery is pretty much on film.
Yeah.
In a weird way. Like, so Chiefsaholic, when he's out on bail, has to wear an ankle monitor, and he's in a hotel room watching the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and the documentary crew's right there with him watching him watch the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So it was like a weird documentary in that aspect, like the firsthand accounts of it that you get. Mm-hmm. And also I wanted to know, I know, and this is nothing about your character, you tend to side on the side of bank robbers a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Which I was wondering how you would come down on this.
Because it's money, you know what I mean?
Right, it's money, it's fake.
To
it
me,
doesn't
it's
matter.
like, it
all of
doesn't
it's
matter.
insured.
And then, like, cops show up. They're like, we have to shoot.
Exactly.
If we don't kill him now.
Exactly. He's going to get away with all the money.
Yeah.
We can't just print more.
Then there's hostage situations. They're like, we have to wait.
Exactly. Wait. Don't want to hurt that money.
There's an active shooter out there. We have to wait. We have to. He might take some money. I don't know.
Exactly.
So,
priorities.
I have my opinions about these things. Yes.
So he did get or I guess we don't have to say allegedly because he was found guilty.
Straight up said it. He
17.
admitted guilt. Yeah.
The fun part about this is the bail officer I thought was a fun character.
I thought.
Because he got kind of psychotic. It was like just
sucked.
circling around the dude. First of all, I said he's an interesting character because
every person on here just a failed actor.
It seemed that way,
right?
Doesn't it?
Every single person, other than one of the Chief super fans. She's the one that had the Chiefs bus.
Yeah.
Her and the teller, the assistant manager
of the bank. Yeah.
Both of those just seemed like normal people.
Right. I mean, the one lady is a Chiefs super fan. She has a Sprinter van that says Chiefs on the side of it. But she's like, okay, she probably just goes to her job normally.
But she's like, I like going to Chiefs games. Mm-hmm. She's like, I don't go to, I don't travel with them.
No.
She's like, but this is like my hobby. And I was like, hobbies are great. This is great. Right. You look great.
But there was
she doesn't even do like a podcast of it.
No.
She's just like, I love doing this.
Right.
I love the Chiefs. I love partying with people that love the Chiefs.
Yeah, hanging out in the parking lot, getting drunk. What else are you going to do?
You must be the coolest person to hang out with.
What else are you going to do in Missouri?
Out of the documentary, she was my favorite.
Yeah.
She just seemed down to earth because she was like, I'm not even a super fan. I was like, I like you being like, I don't want that. Don't give me that.
Also, it's weird to be like, I'm not a super fan when you have a car that has the logo on the side of it.
But she's like, I know what a super fan is. I am not that.
Right.
She sees the stigma and she's like, I'm fighting it.
A bit of self-hatred right there.
Good on her.
I feel.
Very smart.
I mean, to continue with the Star Wars stuff, if I had a car that was painted like an X-Wing and the license plate said Red 5, and I was like, well, I don't really love Star Wars that much. It's like, you're wearing the helmet right now.
But if you were like, I am not a super fan, I would be like, I read you loud and clear, sir.
Right. Wink. Yeah, 100%. So there was that aspect of it being so immediate with the crime documentary, and there was the other aspect of it where this guy was also a degenerate gambler.
Yeah.
So the bail officer is like following him around in a hotel, and he's like, I found out. So he's out on $80,000 bail.
Yeah.
The bail bondsman, weird dude, because he calls the documentary people like, oh, you want to follow me? Great.
Yeah.
He kind of had, I guess, weird Dog the Bounty Hunter dreams that he wanted to do.
Absolutely. He was like, this a career, a TV career.
Right.
Come out
so he puts up the $80,000 bond for the guy, and then he finds out immediately afterwards that the guy has bets on Patrick Mahomes, Chiefs quarterback, to win MVP and the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl that he had placed before the season. So, like, if both those things happen, this guy's getting like $120,000.
Yeah.
That's an issue that he'll probably run. And so the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, and he immediately runs.
Yeah.
And it's like, I would have put a stipulation in there and be like, okay, you have to pay me back the $80,000 first. Well, like, as soon as that happens.
I don't know. Bail is really weird.
Now, granted, that guy's not going to honor a contract. Obviously, he's a bank robber.
Bail is really weird.
Yes,
because you can't just pay it off. You can't just be like, and then I'm scot free.
But you can put in a thing for that guy.
Yeah, you can put in a thing for that guy. Yeah,
so he wouldn't have to write the $80,000.
That would be $80,000 gone.
Right. Yeah. And also, he would still have $40,000. I'm pretty sure you could run away with $40,000 if you really wanted to.
Not as long as I could with $120,000.
But you could if you continue to rob banks, which is what he did.
Did he continue to?
Yeah, there was like 3 more banks that he robbed after he went
Oh, I
all
thought
the
that was
road.
just recapitulating
I don't
what
know.
he's done.
Regardless, it doesn't matter. He doesn't have any qualms about how to get
So
money.
the big thing that stood out to me when I started this is I don't care for football, and this thing is like, you better care about football if you're going to watch this.
I don't think you have to.
Oh, yeah.
No,
it was a lot.
You get fandoms. You understand fandoms.
I get fandoms, and I
Yes.
understand fandoms. There was, like you said, there's just a part where you're watching him watch football.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's
so
there's
obnoxious.
nothing here.
I used to bartend at a bar
Yeah.
that we both worked at on Sundays. And some people watching football is the most infuriating thing in the world.
It's amazing how loud they are.
Which is like, it's one of the things that I get made fun of for things that I like all the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I'll yell at a video game screen, but I won't go to a public place and read my Batman comics and be like, come on, Riddler. What the fuck is that? You put the bomb inside the letter, you piece of shit.
Imagine losing your mind getting a shiny ponyta at the bar.
First of all, shiny ponyta has blue fire instead of the orange fire.
Yeah.
Shiny ponyta's kind of dope.
And then you just go,
But it's like the matter of bringing it out into public that was always so offensive to me. It's like
it's not
most.
even
It's
that.
like
It's
most
just-
things. I'll say with most things, there are a lot of things that you can do in the privacy of your own home that are fine. Doing it in a bar on a Sunday, the Lord's Day, is wrong to do.
the lack of camaraderie. He's not happy that his team's winning. You know what I mean?
Because
When
he's
I'm
using it
watching
to fuel his lifestyle.
It's his gambling that he's watching. This is you brought up that we watched that other How to Rob a Bank.
yeah, that documentary ruled.
That documentary is fantastic.
That guy ruled.
That documentary chronicalized a very, very interesting person who ended up doing some really bad stuff.
Yeah.
You know? This movie,
Some really cool stuff too. He built a treehouse.
absolutely. Like he's
pretty
like
dope.
one of the coolest dudes.
And he was just like hang a dog for half that movie.
And then we go to this guy.
Yeah.
Who he's not robbing because of like ennui.
Right.
He's doing it because he's like, I'm out of money.
And I have to go
need it.
gamble more.
Yeah.
It's like robbing for like a crack addiction or something like that, except it's
Exactly.
gambling.
It's more pitiable than it is enviable.
Yeah, it'd be like if Robin Hood smoked crack.
You're ruining
and he was
people's-
robbing from the rich to feed the crack.
You're ruining people's day because you are addicted.
That's the thing. If they didn't put that teller in there, and you brought this up when we watched How to Rob a Bank, if it wasn't for the teller being like, "Hey, I'm like scarred from this," like it was.
Now, she was like,
now granted, she won a shitload of money too.
yeah, she was like, I am like, my life is like messed up.
Yeah,
I was like, you kind of like had a brush of mortality.
yeah,
That's great. I understand that, and I see you.
and she got a payout
But, like, calm down a little bit.
a little bit.
Calm down a little bit.
But to be fair,
I'm not saying that this guy is a good guy. I'm not defending him at all. This is crazy because before the other bank robber guy, can't remember his name, How to Rob a Bank guy,
yeah.
100%, I'm like, that guy is doing something.
Treehouse Dongman.
Yeah.
That was his name.
That guy's doing something.
Yeah.
That guy's doing something that's really interesting and fun to me. This guy is just desperate.
Yeah,
And he's reacting like an animal. And that's
fair.
it's more awful on society what he is because he would go crazier. How to Rob a Bank guy, he would probably just keep robbing banks, you know?
Yeah,
And be like,
if
I
he
don't
never
wanna
got
hurt
caught, he
anybody.
would 100%.
If they never shot him, nobody would have ever died.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, that's fair to say.
This thing, I could see it going down the drain fast.
Yeah.
And it's also, this documentary is super sad because they follow his mom.
That's the one thing. He's completely unrelatable as a protagonist because his poor mom, who's like living out of her car with the brother who like they kind of allude to has like mental issues or something like that.
They barely show the brother, but
The
you can
brother
see
is
that he has
his
fits.
brother's blurred out because
Yeah.
he's like he's not a lot. He didn't sign off to be in this documentary,
Yeah.
which is another thing about it being so weird about how quickly this was released.
this stuff
you know, there's
feels
already is
exploitative.
a Luigi Mangione documentary out.
Oh yeah, of course.
They signed like 3 deals the day he. What did the kids have to say? Unalived that healthcare CEO. So dumb we have to say that. But now that we're partners, I don't want to say anything bad.
Now, oh, dude, you're going down no matter what. I got a lot to say.
I know. You're a fucking liability.
Yeah,
I've
dude.
said it for a while.
But yeah, that's just another bunch of people trying to cash in on
Yeah.
something that's.
So this is like the first one of those where like this happened in 2022,
And I
like
get
while
that.
true crime was hot.
And
So as
what a
soon as this broke,
cool
they're like,
thing to jump on, right?
Yeah.
They stretched it out to 2 hours, which was way too long.
they
for
could
this
if it
thing.
was Netflix, it would have
Yeah.
been a 3-part,
You're
and they would have
very
been
right
an
about
hour and a
that.
half each.
But it was already feeling its length with
Yeah.
following the bail bondsman around And it was just like, I don't care how confused he is. That guy must be confused all the time. Mm-hmm. He's like, people are like, oh, trash, but you got to go through it. He doesn't put gloves on to go through the trash.
Yeah,
that's why everybody's like, oh, trash. Everybody else is like, oh, go through the trash. Fine. Put gloves on, though. People might piss in bags and put it in there.
I put gloves on if I drop something into my own trash.
This is what I'm saying.
And have to go through it.
I know what trash is.
Like,
buddy.
it's just my stuff in
Sometimes there is stuff in trash that
if I have
you
to,
want.
If I have to throw, like if I accidentally
The
throw away a
adage.
receipt or something like that, I'm like, shit. Now I have to go through the trash. I get my black nitrile gloves and I get in there.
Goes to his mom and he's like, I want to get this car towed. I want
Right.
to take your car.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it,
Then you don't have to.
but I got to get this car towed. I
Yeah.
want to put you out on the street. I'm not the bad guy here,
Which
but
was
I'm going to put an old woman on the street.
The bail bondsman did strike me almost as like a Tim Robinson character.
Yeah.
Like,
He's at the end of his rope. He has never had to work hard for bail. There's no way. There's no way.
I feel like he did try to make his job seem like, because he's
Yes.
driving around the motel and he's like, I could see all the exits. He could be going this way.
Yeah.
And he's like banging on random people's
He was
doors.
dropping down on the ground and rolling around, checking.
It was funny.
I was like,
It was like a dude trying to do a bit.
calm down.
It was
he was doing a bit.
It was like he was like, it was like when
It was
Michael,
him,
like,
clearly.
remember in The Office when Michael Scott made an action movie?
Yeah.
And
a
he's
little
like
bit
doing his
that.
own moves.
But he was kind of tongue in cheek on that thing.
Yeah.
He was doing a bit in there, and I saw that. But all the rest of the stuff, he was showing the data from the ankle bracelet and being like, they give you, 400 pages, 4,000 pages of this
weird.
stuff. It's like, yeah, but you parse information. You don't just scroll through it.
Yeah.
You're making shit look more complicated.
You just don't
than
put
it
in a
is.
weird query to a spreadsheet and be
Yeah.
like, oh, look, there are people on Social Security that are 150 years old. Because that's not how fucking spreadsheets work.
You can't just look at the information
fucking moron.
and not parse it.
Yeah.
You're not getting anything.
Exactly.
from it. And I get that you have information.
Yeah.
That's part of your job.
Uh-huh.
You could have showed me. It was like, this is what I do to make it look. It was like, look up February 13th.
There's got to be a cool bail bondsman out there that would be fun to make a document. But I really feel like bail bondsmen attract. If there's a Venn diagram of people that want the documentary crews to follow them, and people that think that they want to be a low rent bounty hunter, and that middle circle is just very unstable
a
people.
bail bondsman that feels like he's doing what's right for his community,
Right, like he's a
and
vigilante.
helping. Yeah,
Right.
Well, no, not like hunting down criminals.
And he spent like the
but
first
he's
20
like-
minutes sucking this guy's dick, being like, "Oh, he's such a fan," and I could tell that he really cared about the
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
He gave him like $3,000.
yeah,
This is this
fucking moron.
This bail bondsman was not an interesting guy.
no, he was interesting. He wasn't relatable or good.
I wouldn't even say he was interesting.
All right,
Because
we've been talking about him for 15 fucking minutes.
I would talk about any bail bondsman the same exact way. Is what I'm saying.
Can't wait for your recommendation next week.
You have a bail bondsman for me?
No, I don't. It's just a movie.
Because man, like you didn't do anything.
Right.
Is basically what I would have for him. He didn't even catch him.
No, that was
We
the other
followed him
funny
for
thing.
90 days.
He had to
showing all these cool things that he does to find out where
right,
he is.
all of his high tech
Threatens
stuff,
his mother with throwing her out on the street.
breaking into cars and pulling up bags of piss.
Nothing to show for it.
Zippo.
The very same day that he had to turn in $80,000, someone
Yeah.
calls him, "Hey, caught him."
Yeah, we got him. Who got him? The real cops.
Yeah.
The real cops got him. A weird pro-police take from Jake Baggett. It's like, yeah, the actual cops got him, you fucking moron. That's their job.
It's just-
they have computers and budgets.
Well, they look at that same information that you have, and then they parse it.
They have a guy in a chair whose job this is.
Somebody that looked at it and goes, "Oh, I know where he is."
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Holy
So
cow.
what do you give it on a scale of 1 to 3?
I have to. If you're interested in this stuff, I would say it's a 2.
Yeah.
I didn't like it personally.
Yeah, I was wondering where you were going to fall on it.
I thought it was too long.
Yeah.
And it's just I have no provenance for sports
No.
or sports culture.
That's not even the right word. You're thinking of proclivity.
I have no proclivity
There it
towards
is.
sports culture.
Yeah.
And so and this kid was very annoying.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about Xavier. He's a loudmouth
He's
dickhead.
just a kid who was addicted to social
Gambling.
media and social media.
Yeah, because he
couldn't wait
So after the
to
Chiefs
post.
won, he posted his tweet, and he had like the tweet ready to go.
Yeah.
And then you could just see it. That was kind of the heartbreaking part, where you could see they were filming him look at his replies on his phone.
Yeah.
And then it was
he's
like
just
showing, it's like,
laughing.
oh, Legend's back, and everyone's
Yeah.
like that, and he's just like, oh, things
Yeah.
are great. Like,
Yeah,
I'm like,
this is
oh,
good.
dude, that's not a healthy way
This
to be
isn't
so
what you
excited
need.
about
He
it.
doesn't have friends. He
Yeah.
lived in a car most of his life.
Yeah.
This dude doesn't have it together. It was mostly sad.
Yeah.
And not in a sad, fun way like my fiction stories.
No, that's fair. All right, so Jake gives it a 2.
Yeah.
That's
I'd
fine.
Give it a 2.
I'll take a 2.
But I would say, bleh.
But bleh as well. All right, so let's get into Jake's recommendation for me,
Yes, sir.
the 2024 film Anora,
Yes, sir.
starring not a lot of super famous people in this
No.
movie.
I don't think I know anybody in this movie.
So the lead actress, Mickey Madsen, she's nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah.
Or it's I don't know if it's Mickey or Mikey.
I think it's Mikey.
Okay, she was on Seth Meyers. She was good. So it is nominated for 6 Oscars. I was right. Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actress for Mikey Madison, Best Supporting Actor for Yura Borisov, who plays Igor.
Oh, Igor gets a nomination.
Yeah, he was my favorite character. We can talk about it. Best Original Screenplay for Sean Baker and Best Editing for Sean Baker. Sean Baker pulling triple duty, editing, writing, and directing.
Yep.
Good for him.
Triple threat.
So, Jake, why'd you recommend this for me?
I have been sitting on this movie for a while,
Weird.
and I know I should just watch it.
Did you watch it before the Oscar nominations came out?
No.
When there was buzz about it?
I had no proclivity towards watching it.
I'm like your word of the day calendar. I need to show up here every day.
But I saw Red Letter Media talk about it, and they're like, "This is great." And then most of my social media talked about it, and they're like, "This is one of the best movies I have seen all year." And I was like, and then I read what it's about, and I was like, "That's my style of movie. I like that type of stuff."
So,
And we haven't touched on any Oscar stuff.
yeah, we have.
We've touched one, and it was from you,
Right.
and it was my turn.
Okay. So you're just doing a little tit for tat.
A little tit for tat type
This makes
thing.
me think I should think of an Oscar thing.
Right?
Are you doing an Oscar thing?
No, I changed mine pretty quick, but I feel pretty good about mine.
Okay.
But
so the story behind this is Mikey Madison plays Anora. She's a stripper / escort,
Annie,
and she works in like
headquarters.
super Russian part of New York, like
Headquarters.
Brighton Beach, Coney Island area.
She speaks Russian.
Russian family, and she goes in, and her manager, strip club owner guy, is like, "Hey, they need someone who speaks Russian." This Russian guy shows up. He's a young guy, like 20ish, young kid, Ivan, and she likes him. And then he's like, "Oh, yeah, giving and throwing big money around."
Yeah.
So he's like, "Why don't you come over to my house?" Because she's an escort too. Goes over, does the prostitute thing with him, gets his money, like starts to like him, and then he's like, "How much for you to be my girlfriend for a week?" And she's like, $15,000.
Yeah.
And he's like, "All right." And then he flies her out. So they have this whirlwind romance. They end up in Vegas.
Yeah.
They get married.
Yep.
His dad's an oligarch, and so basically, I don't know where I'm landing on this movie. I think for now I'm going to give it a 2.
Wow.
But then we'll talk about it, and I might change.
Okay.
So this movie is in kind of like 3 parts, and I don't think there's much to spoil.
3 acts.
There's not much to spoil in this movie because
Sure.
it goes where you think it is. His dad's an oligarch, finds out that he goes to Vegas and marries a prostitute, and his family's wicked pissed.
Yeah.
So
Wicked pissed.
the mob fixers come over and like, "Hey, your dad's coming." And he's like, "Oh shit, my dad's coming from Russia." And then Ivan just books it.
Yeah.
So then it's 3 Russian gangsters
And Annie.
and Annie. The first half of this, or the first it's a 2-hour movie. I would say the first 40 minutes is like the whirlwind romance.
Yeah.
Which is like a lot of drugs, a lot of sex, a lot of parties and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I'm watching that part of the movie and I'm just like, is this it? Like I'm not a fan of that sort of thing.
I was enjoying that part.
Yeah.
Because it was so fun how vulgar and cute it was. It was cute.
I get it. Yeah.
How these two were actually, it felt like they were falling in love.
Right.
Like they were both connecting on something beyond just having sex with each other.
Right.
It would cut to them doing drugs.
It's trying to be
cut
like a little Pretty Woman situation.
A little
she's
bit
a
like
prostitute
that.
with a heart of gold.
But it never got rid of that vulgarity of they're doing some wild stuff.
Right.
And I was like, this is a very fun juxtaposition of what a romance is for people. You know, you can fall in love in that type of situation.
Yeah.
You know, and you can see why feelings would develop.
Yeah, you catch feelings.
Something like that.
Well, I mean, she's a
like,
poor girl. Like they mentioned that
Exactly.
her dad's not around. Her mom lives in Florida. She lives in a house with her sister.
Yeah.
And this guy's giving her thousands and thousands of dollars and getting on a private jet and going to Vegas.
A
And
lavish lifestyle.
The Cinderella
that she gets
story.
To see. And
Yeah.
he's, enamored with her.
right, and then he marries her. He marries her
yeah.
in Vegas.
And a green card. They talk about it even being a green card marriage.
Right,
For it's like, because I don't want to go back to Russia, but so if we marry, I don't have to go back to Russia.
Right.
And Annie's like, yeah, we can do it, but it's for love.
Right,
then,
and he buys her like a 5-carat diamond ring and
Yeah.
shit like that.
and then
Yeah.
it's-
So that
there
part
you
of the
go.
movie I did not like at all. I was
Yeah.
just like, I'm not a fan. Nothing of this clicks with me. It's not like that sort of thing's just not really cute to me.
Yeah, sure.
Like just excess and just
I like
irresponsibility.
the excess. So yeah, that's my stuff.
Yeah, that's more
I
your
was
jam.
very into that stuff, and then the second act drops.
Second act drops and it turns into this weird,
Wonderful.
physical comedy of Annie and these 3 Russian gangsters.
Yeah,
Gardic, Taurus,
it's
and
all
Igor.
over Instagram that Ivan married a stripper.
Right. So everyone in Russia is just like, oh shit.
His parents find out. His
They call
parents call
Taurus,
their
who's the priest,
godfather,
who's a priest,
during a
baptism.
baptism.
He has to dip out.
He's like, I'm sorry, I have to leave.
Which is a great. So he's a priest. He's in his robes. He's doing a baptism. Gets a call, and then he leaves and says, "I'm sorry, I have to leave." Which is an amazing bit of screenwriting where you're like, "That's how much influence this guy's parents have."
Yeah.
They call a priest during a baptism
stuff's
halfway
getting-
around the world. They're like, "Leave right now and go do what you
it's
do what we tell you."
scary. It's
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, like
Which you think
things.
so at
like
that point.
Annie's in trouble, man.
At that point in the movie, I think it's going to take a turn of like, oh, is this going to be like a horrible like
yeah, right.
violence thing? Because I was not on board.
But then we
Delightfully surprised.
we get to the 2 people that Taurus sends to the house
Right.
to get both of them.
Right.
It's Garnick, who is his brother, Taurus's brother, and Igor.
Yeah. Played
And-
by Yura Borisov, who's nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
And they both go in there. They both look pretty scary.
Yeah,
And they both
they're
look
classic.
in charge.
They're central casting
Yeah.
Russian gangsters.
But like you said, Ivan takes off.
Yeah, he
immediately.
just books it like he's skinny white Timothy Chalamet looking
Yeah.
dude, and just books it.
So Garnick tells Igor, like, don't let her leave the house. And she's like trying to edge her way out. And
In her underwear, this
yes,
as well.
And Igor's just like, please don't move.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to do anything, please.
And Mikey Madison is acting like when she's trying to get away because she doesn't know what's happening, and she has this amazing this is why that scene is why she got the Best Actress nomination.
Yeah.
Because she has this great thing where she's like scared but also like a wild animal, just like fighting off as best she can, but for somehow still funny.
Yeah.
Like it's almost slapsticky, just well
It's
written.
the way it was edited is just perfect.
And it's like a
she's
play.
going for
it's like
the
you're
door.
watching a play where all these people are coming in and out
Yeah.
and everything's so well
Yeah.
scripted.
So she's going for the door to get it, and that's when Igor actually scoops her up and like holds her in a fireman's carry. She bites him in the neck, and instead of like a zoom in and stuff to see what's happening, you just see her go into the neck, and you just hear Igor just going ah, and he just falls down from it. It's funny how off the rails it goes,
Right, and so then they're running
like
around,
tie her legs up, and she just kicks Garnick right in the face,
breaks his nose,
and
then they're running around for the rest of the night trying to find this kid because they got to get him to the courthouse in the morning so they could get it annulled before his parents get here. And that was if that was the movie, that's a 3. Because that part was just so fun. It just does all the things where they're like go from a bar, they're showing pictures like, you know this man, you know this, have you seen this kid?
Yeah.
Then it just cuts to them like in a diner eating, and
Taurus is losing it.
Gardick is like bleeding from his nose, and he feels like he's got a concussion. And at one point, he throws up in the car.
In the car.
Because he's clearly got a head injury. And that part of the movie is so good.
They get the car towed, and Taurus is like, no, that's not. He just brings it down, rips off his own bumper, and drives away.
And the whole time, he's just like, after the guy throws up in the car, he's like, my wife has to drive this tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, it's just such like a real moment that's absurd.
It's 2 things. Yeah, because it's like, that's a real person. He's like, I'm trying to get back to my normal life. But he's also rejecting what's actually happening, where the stuff that he messed up, which is like ripping the bumper off and stuff. He's like,
also just parking somewhere you shouldn't park.
yeah, he's like, I I didn't do anything bad.
And
you threw up in the car. That's horrible.
While this is all happening, Igor is like actually like they're walking down the boardwalk and it's freezing cold, and he gives a scarf to Annie because she's cold. And her response is just like, "Did you take this to fucking tie me up if you needed to?"
Well, it's the same scarf that they used to gag her.
Yeah.
And he's like,
I didn't know if I would need it.
He's like,
and they have this like kind of sweet little where he's like trying to take care of him, and he doesn't like these gangsters either.
Igor is clearly just a good guy.
They treat him like shit, and he's just doing this as a job. Yeah.
They're like, we needed a muscle, and we can get Igor to do
right. So end of the day, they find Ivan. They drag him to the courthouse. He's still hammered.
Yeah.
And that's when they find out that the lawyer character is fantastic in that. Just like a good New York City lawyer who's just like brought in for cleaner situations. And they find out they're married in Las Vegas. They can't get it annulled in New York. So then his parents are there. And that's like kind of the third act is after they find him. It takes over with him and his parents. And I didn't like the ending of the movie either.
Oh, I love the ending.
So the ending when they have to fly back to Vegas to get it annulled. And it's Ivan's parents, Russian oligarch types.
Yeah.
And they're just so mean.
Yeah.
And shitty.
Yeah.
That it was I didn't like the first half for how excessive it was. Loved the middle. Hated the end because of how mean it was. So like I didn't
see the meanness so much as like just the weighty
Ivan's
realism
mom sucks
of it. Yes.
So much.
Rich people suck.
Oh, most of
period.
them do. Yeah.
You know?
The dad was funny because when she was talking shit about the mom and he's just laughing.
Let me rephrase. The super rich suck.
Yes.
If you have a private jet, you probably suck.
The highly entitled.
Yes. Yeah. Highly entitled people are always terrible.
Yeah.
And that's what you're getting into when you're going out with a 21. I don't even think he was 21. I think he lied about his age.
Yeah, probably.
I think he was even younger than 21.
Probably.
But
what's the legal age for ketamine?
18. Gotta be. Gotta be, baby.
I thought it was like 15 if you have a permit and your parents are with you. You can do ketamine.
Maybe. Medical.
We'll see what RFK does.
Yeah, we'll see. Oh, fingers crossed. Baby.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
So, it's just realism. You know? It's just, it's not going to be a fairy tale ending.
Right, and I understand just
never
because
met the
something's
parents.
realistic doesn't mean I have to like it.
I agree with that, but I didn't see it so much as sad as the same realization that Anora was having.
Right.
Which is like, Ivan's not even the guy
because
that I thought he was.
the whole time they're trying to find this guy, her whole mentality is, once I find him, he'll tell them that we're in love.
Yes.
And everything will be okay. When they find him, he's like, I don't fucking care about her. I'm afraid of my parents.
Yeah.
Obviously.
He doesn't even want to talk to her.
Yeah. And he doesn't. Like, it's just fucking...
Yeah. I'll give you this. The one Joe Rogan story that I like is the strip club story from This Is Not Happening.
Oh, yeah.
Where he rejected a strip tease dance from a woman, and she was on the other side of the club yelling back at him. He's like, "You don't know what you're missing." It was like, I was getting a lot of that from Anora when they're on the plane, where she's in the back, just like, "You're a little bitch. You're not even gonna do anything about it." And I was like,
mean strippers are kind of funny.
Her
it's
character
kind of funny
amazing.
to be naked and angry.
Yeah.
Like, objective of the scenario. If you're naked and angry, it's kind of funny.
Her character is amazing.
She's great.
I love Anora.
Everything they're nominated for, the editing, the directing, the screenplay, the two actors that are nominated, well deserving.
Yes.
I just hated the end. Didn't like the beginning. Loved the middle.
The middle is by far its strongest part.
Because it's the middle is like a little. You know what the middle reminded me of? The middle reminded me of Wolves, where it's just like a night that gets out of control, and you're just following these people that are driving over the city, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. And I liked Wolves. I don't think Wolves is a better movie than Anora.
Right.
But it's more my style of movie because it's not just so mean and sex addled at the beginning. Like, I was really afraid the first, and also the first 30 minutes of this, it's just nonstop, just sex and nudity and drugs.
Yes.
Which, sure, but I was afraid going into it. I was like, is this why this movie is fucking nominated for these? Like, I was really bummed because I was like, is it just one of those movies that's just like super graphic? It's like, this is art, deal with it. It's a comment on our society. And I was like, I'll
make you watch Short Bus.
Exactly, that sort of fucking thing, that Brown Bunny fucking short bus nonsense. but I was afraid it was going to be that. It wasn't. It's very
No.
sweet, and it has a heart, and the middle of it is fantastic.
The middle of it's fantastic.
So that's why I'm giving it a 2.
I would say it's deserving of a 3 because I think the beginning is very powerful in showing you who Anora is.
Yes.
And it does a great job showing that her power is her sexuality. Mm-hmm. That's something that she uses to get in with Ivan. And I don't even know if she knows
something
that
Ivan
she
uses
does
to
it.
get in with her.
Hey-o.
Hey-o. Jokes.
So
This is now a sex joke podcast.
I like who the characters are, how they feel.
Yes.
Especially like Igor, where there's a part where they go and get drugs for Garnick, and it's Igor that's coming back.
Yeah.
And
he goes and gets like painkillers
he gets
and shit.
pills, and he just
Awesome,
hands pills,
probably.
and he's like, just take one at a time. Garnick takes them all.
Yeah.
And eventually later, Annie's like, okay, I want one of those pills that you gave Garnick. Give me one of those. And he's like, I don't have any. He's like, those were my grandmother's.
Yeah.
He's like, I just took my grandmother's paid pills. It's like, you think that Igor's just this bad guy who
Like, drug
has
dealer,
the
yada,
connects.
yada, yada.
He's like, no, I stole from my grandma.
Exactly.
And he's like, I'm just a bad guy. I thought he was a creep from the beginning.
Yeah.
I still think he is a creep, but I think he's just kind of like a pushover.
Yeah.
And I like his story.
Yeah.
I like how he developed in my eyes throughout.
Yeah.
Same thing with Ivan. What he became of
Fucking
him
hated that little kid.
from beginning to end.
He just looks like
He's a
fucking-
cute kid.
No.
That's for sure.
He looks like fucking Temu brand Timothy Chalamet.
A little
and
bit.
it bugged me the whole time.
But it was very funny.
Yeah.
I liked
He played
hilarious
he
beats
played
in
a
this
little
stuff.
weasel boy that you wanted to punch very well.
But
Because if that was the vibe you were trying to get from that guy, it worked.
I think so.
Yeah.
You know? And it was just I was enamored
Yeah.
from the beginning of this
It's
movie.
a weird look into a strange world.
Yes, exactly. And it's trying to say there's this beautiful heart inside of these people that, you know, you don't think about.
Right.
You know, it's one of those things where you see a mob movie, they look so, like, put together
Yeah.
and ready, and they got plans and stuff. And then this one is like, oh, shit. Like, everything is flying off the rails.
You never watched The Sopranos, did you?
No.
So it's rated, widely as one of the best episodes of The Sopranos. It's an episode called The Pine Barrens, that's an area in New Jersey. So Christopher and Paulie, they're supposed to kill this guy, and it turns out that he's like Russian special forces, essentially, like a Russian Green Beret equivalent, and they're trying to drive him out to the Pine Barrens because they thought they killed him and bury him, and then he gets out. And like they're just walking through, like trying to find him. It had a lot of that vibe where it's just like these are these very serious people in a very silly situation that they can't fix the way they normally fix things. Because obviously with these Russian people, their fix is usually we're just going to throw money at it.
Yeah.
And they can't throw money. Well, they did throw money at this.
They want
girl,
to say that, they'll kill you. It's like
Right.
they don't want to kill anybody.
This is America. You're not going to kill anybody.
It's hard to kill people.
It's not
and get away
easy.
with it.
Yeah.
So they're like, when you call their bluff like that, like Anora does,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, we're gonna tie you up. It's like, oh, you're gonna tie me up.
Yeah.
It's like that's gonna be a lot worse for you when this thing happens.
That's the middle part, the good part.
Yeah, that stuff is fantastic.
Yeah, the middle part is fantastic.
I would say the ending is fantastic
No,
too.
I hated the ending.
I love the ending,
Everyone was just so mean and it was so sad.
but then the very, very ending,
Yeah.
Igor's not mean at all.
Yeah. It's still sad.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah.
but it's kind of like.
What
it's
is
like
the-
a therapeutic realization.
What
type
does the
thing.
next week look like for that dude, though? Where it's like, hey, you're dating that
They'll
guy's
probably-
ex-wife now?
They're probably never going to see each other again.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
I did like at some point, Igor's got like this old like Mercedes or Volvo style beat up piece of
Yeah.
shit. Like it's a brown car.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very brown car. And it's like from the 80s. And he's like idling it in the snow. And she's like, your car fits you
Yeah. He's like,
very well.
yeah.
And he's
'Cause
like,
it's a
thank
piece
you.
of
And she's
shit.
like, it's not a compliment.
Yeah.
That's a funny bit.
And he's like, it's my grandma's.
Yeah.
And again, I was like, oh my God.
Didn't like the ending.
I love the ending.
All right. It gets a 2. It's a
thought-
solid 2, but it's a 2.
I thought that movie was fantastic.
It was good.
I think what you need to do is
2 is
develop
good.
your tastes a
Nope.
little bit more.
No. Got to keep them sharp.
I think you're a little prude.
On film, yeah. I just it doesn't appeal to me to like watch that stuff because it makes me irate because it's wasteful. It's a level of bacchanalia that I cannot condone.
Wasteful.
Yeah, flying to Las Vegas and spending thousands and thousands of dollars that you didn't earn
Oh, yeah?
And doing drugs in an infinity pool with a girl you just met is wasteful.
Oh, no, I'd rather it happen for Anora than for Ivan, but...
Right, but he was the one leading the charge, so I take the character of the person making these decisions. It's a wasteful behavior.
Wasteful
And she's condoning it because she's signing on to it.
Wasteful behavior.
It is. Sorry, it's a 2. Solid 2, but still a 2. All right.
It's on the same level
As wolves.
as Chiefs, as Chiefsaholic.
Chiefsaholic? Yeah, it's fine if you like
It's
this sort of
just
thing.
as good as Chiefsaholic.
Yeah.
No.
It's as wasteful as robbing
a
a bank
great movie.
to go see the fucking Houston Texans play.
It's a great movie.
Who robs a
Great.
bank so they could get to Houston? People rob a bank to leave Houston.
I don't know.
It's absurd. All right. So thank you, everybody, for listening to the show. If you're not subscribed or doing any of that stuff, please do. I want to thank our buddies, Brother Bill, for letting us use their music for our theme song. If you want to get in touch with us, you can send us an email to upyouralleypod@gmail.com. But let's figure out what we're going to be talking about next week. Jake, what do you got for me?
Video game.
Video game.
You're going to download it. It's on Steam. You're going to download it.
Ghost of Tsushima.
You're going to play Wingspan. You're going to play it with me. It's also a board game.
I'm going to play it with you?
Yeah.
How am I going to play it with you?
It's on Steam.
How am I going to play it with you?
Online.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You can play it by yourself. You can play it with me. But we're going to play Wingspan. I really
Okay.
like the game. It's a board game originally.
Oof.
There's a Steam version of it.
It's got a bird on the front.
Yeah.
Or a dragon.
Wingspan. That's Wormspan. That's their sequel. And then they're making a third one about fish called Finspan.
Jesus Christ.
And I want to play that one because
It's on PlayStation 5.
I love fish. I already have it on Steam.
Right. Can we do cross-platform?
Hopefully.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
All right. I have a movie to watch for you. It is available on Apple. Came out last week. I was going to have you watch it last week, but we didn't do a show last week. It is called The Gorge.
Oh, yeah.
Are you familiar with what The Gorge is?
Yeah. Miles Teller.
Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
So this kind of...
C. Robert Cargill.
They're both snipers that are on either side of a gorge. They're not allowed to talk to each other. They're put there. They're like, this is a secret operation. It turns out, if you've seen the trailers, you know, the gore is a portal to hell, and they're there to contain whatever's trying to come out from hell. So they're like back-of-the-line doom slayers that are trying to keep all the hell stuff in there. And it's the exact kind of movie that I like on Apple. It's why I watched Worms, and I'm like, if this came out in a theater, it would probably make...
Wolves.
I'm thinking of Wormspan.
I said worms.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Wormspan. But yeah, like Wolves. Like it's that kind of movie where I'm like, this is just a fun, small movie that we don't see a lot of anymore.
Uh-huh.
So I'm on board with it, and I'm also a fan of Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk about The Gorge. We're going to talk about Wingspan. And Jake,
Yeah.
thanks for having me over. I love you, buddy. I'll see you next week.
Love you, buddy.
Bye.
Bye.